Hello, welcome back to another video. This time I'm going to be talking about, I don't really know what to call it, so I'm going to say like sensitive content in games. So yeah, enjoy. Yeah, so as I said, I don't really know what to call it. So yeah, this is going to be talking about like board games, obviously, and then sort of like uh, topics that come up within board games that um, might upset some people. So yeah, like I find it quite interesting that not a lot of people really talk about this kind of stuff within board gaming. Especially how much gets talked in uh, tabletop RPGs. Um, whether it's because obviously it's a group of people like all adding their own sort of thing. So obviously, I don't want to offend someone else at the table, and they don't want to offend me. So you sort of work out what sort of works for your group. Um, so yeah, like uh, let's start talking about games. So then you can sort of see where I'm coming from. So the first one is quite obvious. Um, Holding On, The Troubled Life of Billy Kerr, I want to say. Um, I haven't fully played through it because I've only managed to play like maybe the first like 2 or 3 games. And it's now going to be leaving the collection because we really won't be able to get it played, I don't think, because of the subject matter. You know what I mean? It can be upsetting to some people. Obviously, someone's dying, like he is. That's the story. He's on his deathbed, and yeah, you're trying to piece together their memories before he passes on. So it's not about trying to save him, but it's about trying to hear his life story, sort of thing. And so yeah, it's the gameplay that I've played is absolutely phenomenal and a really good game. Be interesting if they could sort of re-implement it maybe with maybe a less what word would we use? A less not so much controversial, but not so much of a hard hitting subject matter. It's a really good game, but yeah, it's the subject matter that if someone's not in the headspace to play or like isn't sort of wanting to sort of go down that road, especially we're playing board games to have fun and escape the shitty world reality for an hour, 40 minutes, whatever, however long a game is, 3 hours. But yeah, so I think people aren't really going to want to play this because it can be quite upsetting, depressing. Yeah, like you're trying not to lose him too early, you're trying to like keep him holding on so you can find out more of the story and stuff. But yeah, this is like sort of certain things we'll talk about. So something like this. So you can understand why someone might not want to play that, especially if I don't know a loved one or an extreme friend or something is sort of going through something like that. You're not going to want to play a game like that. So yeah, I think obviously you don't always know what people are going through, So you can't just be like, well, I can't suggest this, but that sort of thing of like just opening that conversation up to start with and letting people fully know what they're getting themselves into. So, like, I'll talk about another game that is not as heavy on the subject matter. Like, well, yeah, not such a heavy thing. It's still heavy, you know what I mean? But as a man, it's quite different to me, you know what I mean? And yeah, if people have guessed anything, it's Votes for Women. Another amazing game. This one's staying in that collection, but I only ever really want to play the suffragettes, which is harder as well. Not because I like a challenge, but because of the subject matter. Me and my wife have played this. Luckily, the first time I played as the suffragettes, and it's alright, it's all good. Second time, played as suffragettes. It's all good, it's all fine. It must have been the third or fourth time we switched it, and I played the patriarchy. That did not go down well. I'd be playing a card like, yeah, I'm not gonna like let women do that. And she was mad, man. And I'm just like, I'm just playing the game. She's like, yeah, you men would do that, wouldn't you? I'm like, okay. Yeah, so understandable. She isn't happy with someone um putting her down. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously this really happened. It's cool because you got like pamphlets and stuff that they actually like not like the exact ones, but reprints of pamphlets they used to hand out and stuff. So like, if you're into the history and stuff, really cool as well. But yeah, like you can understand that this will piss women off because like it's something that happened and it's something that's still happening, like male privilege and stuff, and witnessed it like this week. I think a friend of ours went to the doctors, um, and their husband went to the doctors a few weeks ago, and they went like this week or late last week with the exact same thing, and her husband has got sent for like tests and everything, and like she just got told, oh, it must be to do with trauma. Like, what's that about? It's the same thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? Shouldn't you be sending her for tests? So it's understandable that women still get annoyed at this sort of stuff because we've come a long way, and yeah, they can vote and stuff now, but there's still that the sexism in the way. You know what I mean? There's still that male privilege and stuff like that. So it's understandable that this might upset some people, especially if they're having sort of like a tough time with something. You know what I mean? Maybe they're getting looked over at work or something like that. You know what I mean? So even though it's a good solid game, someone might not want to play it because it pisses them off. You know what I mean? I'm not playing a game to be pissed off. I'm playing a game to have fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, as I say, I think if we open the door for conversation and talk about these things, it's sort of like people know what they're getting themselves in for, and they could choose, oh, maybe that's not for me tonight, or you know what I mean. And whether it's just you and your mates that come around to your house and go to each other's houses, whether it's game group, you know what I mean. It's like I love the fact that like board gamers, everyone's a board gamer. You know what I mean. There's people from all sorts of different walks of life, all sorts of backgrounds and what jobs and just whatever. You know what I mean? Sorry. Like So representation matters, and like I think like just try not to be ignorant with things, and like I don't know and don't understand everything, but you know what? That's you, and you do you. You know what I mean? If I do anything to upset you, please just like put me in place. You know what I mean? Oh, that pissed me off or whatever. You know what I mean? But as well, it's not always political stuff or emotional stuff like that. Sometimes it could just be something as much as a fear. Now you're thinking, what's Lord of the Rings got to do with it? Hobbit. You know what I mean? Got another Lord of the Rings game. My partner, scared of spiders. Luckily, the artwork in this, and yeah, so luckily, the artwork in this and this one, the old school Lord of the Rings game, she's not too bothered about. But there might be some artwork where she's a bit like, ooh, I don't like that. Or when we're playing a role-playing game, because you're not so much physically seeing something, you're more in your head. It's that thing of, oh, these spiders crawling all over me, or don't like that. You know what I mean? So you need to like respect that. We played a one-shot Dungeons and Dragons campaign, Aircon 25, I think it was, and the guy running it, absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I could talk about that whole session, that like masterclass in DMing, and especially for one shots, because you're not having your session zero, so you can't sort of talk about what do you want, what do you don't want, and stuff like that. And I think it was his wife, partner. I'm assuming. I think it was his wife. She hates spiders, so he said like in all our sort of campaigns and stuff, there is no spiders. They're all, I think he said, beetles. You know what I mean? So you could just do a little switch like that to sort of change it. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a bit harder in an actual board game, and I think that's potentially why we don't really talk about this sort of stuff in board games, because it's all what's in the box. You know what I mean? So you sort of know what you're sort of getting into. You know what I mean? You read your little synopsis on the back, have a look, have a little flick through maybe, and you know what you're getting yourself into. Where an RPG, well, what are they going to say? What are they going to, you know what I mean? How are they going to react in that situation? So I think they have them discussions a lot more because they want it to be a safe space for everyone. And especially when you got a group of about 6 people, maybe 7, maybe more, maybe less, compared to a board game. And especially with that as well, it's like a campaign. So I need to get on with these people for, I don't know, 10 games a year, you know what I mean? However long the campaign is. Where a board game, I just need to deal with it for an hour and a half. So that's probably why we don't have these sort of conversations in board gaming. But I think it's really good to have, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you're playing with people on a regular basis. So yeah, like maybe we should talk more. I mean, if you're friends, you tend to know who's scared of what, and if they're going through something. But I feel like even though I know people and I'm like good friends with people in my game group, there'll be things that come up and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. And that's what I think would be more useful of, oh, this game's got this sort of thing attached to it. Do you mind playing that? You know what I mean? And I think that might sort of start a shift in how people approach board games, um, because we shouldn't be afraid to say no. You know what I mean? And I think board gamers, we just want to play everything as well. So it's that thing of some people might just sort of put how they feel to the side to just play a new board game. You know what I mean? But some people might maybe sometimes feel a bit pressured of, oh, I can't say no because there's no other games going off. So, yeah, I think opening the floor a bit and talking, because there's all sorts of different things. Even a popular game that has been played an insane amount of times, I love it. It's up there in BGG. It's got different iterations. It's in the top 3. It's in the top 200 however many times. And because of recent years, some people might not want to even consider playing Pandemic. It's an amazing game. But because of things that happened over recent years, some people might not want to think about even playing something like that. Like, hold on a second, no, COVID has put this as a no-go game for me, which you're missing out on a good game, but I completely understand. But as well with Pandemic, because they've sort of changed it to the Pandemic system rather than Pandemic blah blah blah, you could very easily go, all right, next week I'll bring Iberia or Cthulhu or Clone Wars, Fate of the Fellowship. You know what I mean? There's others that you could pick at to sort of play the same game or a very similar game. Not the exact same game. Very similar game, but without the subject matter that is involved. So, yeah, I feel like, just anything. I feel like there's a lot of World War II games, and I feel like we're starting to get, what's the word? Starting to get sort of distance from World War II. People aren't as connected to it. My granddad fought in the war, and I'm quite young for someone to have a granddad who fought in the war. But yeah, it's that thing of, so you'd hear stories like grandparents who were young, but they might not have fought in the war, but they remember things, or even if they don't remember the war, they might remember the aftermath of playing in a bomb, an actual bomb site, or I even remember playing in a bomb shelter as a kid and stuff. So there's and it's massive. We played loads of war games on the tabletop, just out on the streets. But some people might not want to remember it, and especially something like this, Escape with Colditz. Someone whose community was in a concentration camp. I'm not even going to say POW camp, but an actual concentration camp, might not want to play something like this. They might not want to indulge in that sort of thing, and especially because one of you has to play the guards, that they might see it as I'm so crap with words today, man. They don't want people to sort of romanticize that sort of thing, you know what I mean, of, I'm gonna keep you a prison, you know what I mean, and which is understandable, you know what I mean. and but I think I won't play it like that. I'll just play it as I just want to win. Um, but yeah, like you can understand why some people wouldn't want to play certain games. Um, like Daybreak's another one. So just caught my eye. Like amazing game, love it. Want to get it to the table more. Really good game, but someone might not want to be reminded about the Earth and that we're destroying it, and there is a way to sort of fix it, but the people in the right places need to do the right things to do that. And I know it's not going to happen overnight. It happens over like 10 turns. But like, yeah, like it's that sort of thing of someone might not want to play a game because it reminds them too much of reality, fear, or subject matter that they don't agree with politically, or is just upsetting to their way of thinking, or especially sometimes it might just be that little period of time, you know what I mean? Like they might just not be in the mood to play it that day, that week, that month, that year, but you could ask them at a completely different time and they're like, you know what, yeah, I will play that game. But sometimes it's just that thing of just opening the conversation, of saying, I brought this with me if someone wants to play, but just let you know this is the subject matter, or it does contain this, some realistic looking spiders, because I know people might have a fear of spiders, like even like heights. Oh, we're talking about being up high and stuff. Oh, you know what I mean? I hate heights, but some people, and with fears and stuff like that, some people, with anything, some people might be able to say, I could tolerate it for now, but that's my sort of cap off level. If it gets any worse than that, if you got any games that are worse than that, I don't want to play it. You know what I mean? So, as I say, it's good to open that conversation, have them talks. As say, like in tabletop RPGs, they've got like different safety tools. Yeah, so like in tabletop RPGs, they've got like different safety tools. They might like, have like a card with an X on, and so the dungeon master knows, or the game master knows, sort of maneuver away from what is being talked about, said, or done at that sort of time, and everyone can sort of like move on and get on with the next thing. You know what I mean? So, as I say, I know like it's a bit more rigid and structured with a board game. So someone that's played it before can say, this is what it is, this is what it's about, contains this and that other. If you haven't played it before, obviously you can't say everything. If there's spoilers, you don't want to say everything, but that thing of forewarn people as the best to your ability and without sort of spoiling. And so yeah, like that's just what I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully open the conversation a bit. I really don't know what I'm calling this video because I feel like it's a bit weird what I've called it, but maybe it'll stick because I don't know what else to say. So yeah, that's me gone in a bit.